Good evening and thank you for joining us. As flight delays have begun to increase, the Senate last evening unanimously approved hurry-up legislation to end air traffic control furloughs.
The White House says President Barack Obama will sign a measure to completely end the furloughs. These furloughs have been the blame of over 800 flights delayed since Wednesday. Controllers were furloughed for 1 day out of 10 as part of cuts to the FAA, which caused a 10% staff reduction as well as delays. The money provided by signing the legislation could be used for other FAA operations, including preventing smaller airport towers to be closed around the country.
The sequestration process will begin affecting Alaska May 1st, when many contracted weather observers will be relieved of their current duties and lose their jobs. A computerized system called the Automated Surface Observing System, or ASOS, will replace the observers. According to weather observers, the ASOS system has many drawbacks in that it is not able to see the entire sky and cannot warn of approaching storm systems. Additionally, to replace the contracted observers, current air traffic controllers will have added to their responsibilities observing the skies for weather conditions. One weather observer in Gulkana says the replacement of current observers could cause numerous critical situations.
I say to people, if your grandmother was having a heart attack and she needed to fly out and the machine says, sorry, you can't fly out, and there's nobody there to say, no, that's wrong, the weather's fine, then, you know, your loved ones could perish.
Earlier today, local leaders, authorities, and others gathered at St. Matthew's Church in downtown Fairbanks to remember homicide victims whose cases remained unsolved. The event was established by the late local activist Shirley Dementeff, who died in 2007. As of 2013, there are approximately 37 unsolved homicides in the local jurisdiction. Today's March of Remembrance fell on the 20th anniversary of the still unsolved murder of UAF student Sophie Sergi. The 20-year-old Sergi from Pitka's Point in southwest Alaska was taking the semester off, but was in town for appointments when she was found sexually assaulted and shot to death in UAF's Bartlett Hall on April 26, 1993. Since the vigil was first organized, Sophie's mother, Elena Sergi, and other family members have been in attendance as well, still looking for closure.
Frustration every day, you know, like I said, never give up hope. Hope is always there, you know. Somebody will come out, accidentally say something, even when they're drinking or, you know, time will tell. Might not be today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, but it'll come out.
You hold out that hope even after 20 years.
I hope.
Today's vigil also included the controversial and suspicious death of 59-year-old Johnny Wallace. The vigil ended with a march that went from St. Matthew's Church over to the downtown post office, where Wallace was found on fire New Year's Day. A King County, Washington medical examiner's autopsy report says Wallace died in January of thermal burns. Reached for comment, Wallace's sister, Velma Wallace, called the findings frustrating. However, she also doesn't expect what she calls a quick fix in resolving the case.
When Mayor Cleworth called me on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday to tell me, I thought there was going to be something, you know, to tell, you know, but I guess we're just starting that roller coaster ride about whether, you know, we're going to get information or not. I don't know. I just, I see listening to the Sergi family, I realized this could be a long ordeal, and I was disappointed. But, you know, it's to be expected in these kind of crimes or whatever. I shouldn't call it crime, this kind of situation.
All right, well, switching gears, Mike Schultz is joining us for our first look at weather. Mike.
Guys, it looked pretty wintry out there today, but there is some good news on the horizon. We just have to wait a little bit for it to get here. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Right now, let's take a look at the radar across the state and zoom in on the Fairbanks area, show you what's going on. We have some snow showers moving through, and those are going to be slowly moving through the area, but they should be out of our vicinity by tomorrow morning, and then after that, things look a lot better. In the lower 48, it's more severe weather to talk about, possible tornadoes and damaging winds. We'll tell you all about it with all the weather later on. Joe, Stephanie?
All right, thank you much, Mike. Now, when we come back, Fairbanks air is deemed unhealthy by the American Lung Association.
And a former Fairbanks lawmaker appeals his drug conviction. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
This edition of the Fairbanks Evening News is brought to you by Northland Hearing Services. Better hearing with a human touch. Kendall Auto of Fairbanks. And by Nissan. Innovation that excites. And by Spadard Builder Supply.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Now, sources close to the news center say trial for a 21-year-old alleged rapist will not take place, and instead Marcos Camacho will enter into a plea deal with prosecutors. Marcos Camacho is charged with a single count of first-degree sexual assault, an unclassified felony offense that carries a maximum 99 years in jail. Camacho is accused of assaulting a female student at a school-sanctioned UAF dance on January 28, 2012. Attorneys with the Satterberg Law Office are representing Camacho in the case. They say the woman consented to the sexual contact and that she gave Camacho various signs by the way she danced with him and other forms of alleged affection. It's not known what Camacho will plead to or how much jail time, if any, is involved. Now, he's currently free on bail release.
The EPA is weighing in on a proposed mine near crucial salmon fisheries. A report released today says the Pebble Mine project could wipe out up to 90 miles of streams, and mining activity could also claim 1,200 to 4,800 of Bristol Bay's wetlands. The EPA notes that multiple mines, not just the Pebble Mine, could lead to further eliminations of streams and wetlands. The proposed mine potentially yields 80.6 billion pounds of copper and 107.4 million ounces of gold.
Alaska could become the next battleground in the push to legalize recreational marijuana use. The state is reviewing a request from supporters seeking approval to start gathering signatures to qualify the measure for next year's ballot. The proposal would make it legal for those 21 and older to use and possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana. However, they would not be allowed to smoke in public. The proposal also would set out provisions for legal grow operations and establish an excise tax. It's significantly different from a failed 2004 ballot effort that would have allowed adults 21 and older to use, grow, or sell marijuana without penalty under state law. Supporters say attitudes toward marijuana have softened in the past decade and believe they have a real shot at success.
The Alaska Court of Appeals today upheld the felony drug conviction against former Fairbanks legislator Nick Stepovich. The court did, however, overturn his conviction for attempted evidence tampering. Stepovich was arrested in 2008, accused of being involved in a drug transaction near the Big Eye Bar involving cocaine. He was convicted in 2009. Stepovich was ordered to serve 45 days in jail or to do 352 hours of community service work.
The American Lung Association's annual State of the Air report gives Fairbanks a failing grade. While Anchorage is listed as the 14th cleanest city in the nation, Fairbanks air pollution is far worse. The report says Fairbanks is the 9th most polluted city in the nation for short-term particle pollution and 14th most polluted for year-round particle pollution. The report is based on Environmental Protection Agency pollution data gathered from 2009 to 2011.
Opponents of a recently passed oil tax reform legislation will be allowed to collect signatures required in an attempt to repeal the cut. Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell approved a referendum application supporters of the repeal submitted. Now, they have until July 13th to gather more than 30,000 signatures to get a repeal measure on next year's ballot. Supporters of the recently passed tax cut legislation says it will incentivize oil producers to increase production. Opponents say it's a giveaway to big oil and will be disastrous for the state budget.
A lot of health screenings will be available starting at 7 a.m. on Saturday at the annual Community Health Fair. There are free tests for blood pressure, vision, and hearing. For small fees, people can get blood screenings and other health checks. Now, there will be about 60 booths with all types of health information available. The fair runs from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Pioneer Park Civic Center.
A large crowd showed up last night at the fundraiser for the family of a young boy killed in a snow machine accident. The event at the Fairbanks Princess Lodge was organized to help defray expenses for the family of 9-year-old Sean Brown, who died in the mishap April 13th in the Hoodoo Mountains. A woman who lives in Tanana and helps operate an Iron Dog snow machine race checkpoint is one of those who wanted to do something for the family. Now, she met the young boy's father after the boy talked his dad into running the Iron Dog. The father said he had no choice but to run the race.
He asked me if I thought I could do it, and I kind of him-hawed around about it and said I wasn't sure, but you know, I'd like to be able to do it someday, and he talked me into it. Told me he thought I could do it, and
And you did it.
Of course, once he said that, then I had to do it. So. But that was his favorite thing to do, was ride snow machines, especially this time of year. It's warm, sunny, pretty much anything outdoors. We spend a lot of time out.
All right, Daryl Lewis joins us now, and it's a busy weekend shaping up.
Real busy weekend, I tell you what. Fairbanks Ice Dogs in action. The annual Run Walk for Autism gets underway Saturday. And going national, the Oklahoma City Thunder get dealt a crushing blow. Well, we'll talk about it. Sports is coming up next. And welcome back, Interior Alaska. Daryl Lewis back here in the sports seat for you this evening for Joe, who can't seem to shake the effects of that oral surgery. It's all right, young man. Old dogs got you even on a Friday. And speaking of the dogs, Fairbanks Ice Dogs getting back to work after an emotionally challenging week that saw them hang on in the NAHL playoffs by the skin of their teeth. Now, after a 5-game tug-of-war affair with the Kenai River Brown Bears in the opening round of the NAHL West Division playoffs, one in which the Dogs won in Game 5, Fairbanks is back on the ice, and the hits just keep coming. In their crosshairs, the regular season champion, Wenatchee Wild. Game 1 tonight, down in Wenatchee. Game 2 Saturday, also in Wenatchee, before the party shifts home to Fairbanks and the Big Dipper Ice Arena next week. Home team and their hated rival played 12 games during the regular season, Fairbanks winning 7, Wild winning 4, and the two skated to a tie on one occasion. Wild won the regular season championship by just 2 points, and both teams won the opening round series in 5 games. And now it's on. Now, if things go as planned, things could get very interesting down the stretch for both teams. I'll have more from Game 1 tomorrow, but for up-to-the-minute end results, go to our website. That's webcenter11.com. Moving on, longtime Alaska Schools Activities Executive Director Gary Matthews has submitted his letter of resignation to the ASAA Board of Directors. The resignation becomes effective July 2nd, 2014. The announcement was made last Tuesday during the ASAA spring meeting held in Cordova. Now, when he resigns, Matthews will have completed a 48-year career in education and 28 years of service to ASAA. During his tenure as executive director, Matthews spearheaded the creation of the Alaska High School Hall of Fame, which recognizes Alaska high school athletes, coaches, administrators, corporations, and their supporters for their exemplary careers and support of interscholastic activities. That's according to the ASAA press release issued late Thursday to Alaska media outlets. Running, sports, and walking as well. Autism spectrum disorders, or ASDs, affect young people and adults of every background. In years past, President Barack Obama has proclaimed a day recognizing autism awareness. Here in the interior at 11 a.m. on Saturday, citizens will run or walk for the cause. Now, the 2013 Walk and Run 5K that seeks to bring more awareness to autism. Locally, the Autism Society of Alaska, located on College Road, is making a conscious effort to alert the public just how widespread autism is becoming and what signs to look for. Heidi Haas, president of the Autism Society, explains the spirited event that will start and finish outside the Carlson Center, as well as statistics on autism.
The new numbers right now are 1 in 50 school-age children are thought to have a diagnosis of autism. So having that awareness within our community so that people are aware of the values, the struggles, everything in between, what parents are working with, what teachers are working with, when you see a child in a grocery store who might be having a difficult time. So as a community, we need to be aware of that and really understand that.
And finally, going national. And just when the NBA's Oklahoma City Thunder were cruising right along with what many thought to be an eventual rematch against the Miami Heat for the World Championship, a huge bump in the road that may sideline those plans. All-star point guard Russell Westbrook will have surgery to repair cartilage in his right knee and be out indefinitely, dealing a harsh blow to the Oklahoma City Thunder's championship chances. Now, no one would rule out Westbrook's possible return if Oklahoma City keeps advancing in the playoffs, and All-Star teammate Kevin Durant only said his teammates, quote, hope Westbrook can play again this postseason. The three-time All-Star was hurt in Game 2 of the Thunder's playoff series against Houston on Wednesday night. Rookie Patrick Beverley lunged for a steal in the second quarter, and his hip collided with Westbrook's knee. Beverley called Westbrook's injury, quote, unfortunate, and said Oklahoma is still dangerous without him. Kevin Durant said the team must move on regardless.
Unfortunate for a guy who loves to play the game so much. He's dedicated, committed to his team, gives his all every second he's on the floor. A lot of people may not like what he brings to our team, but, inside we love what he does. He's a different player, a different person, but we love what he brings, and it's unfortunate that he can't compete at the highest level of basketball, which is the playoffs. And, we're just praying for him, and, hopefully he comes back, full recovery, has a full recovery, and has a speedy recovery. And, we just got to step up in his absence.
Hate to see that happen to any athlete. Here's hoping he has a speedy recovery. And that's going to do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rolling with me for a spell. Now, for more KTVF sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app, whatever's your flavor. But for now, don't go anywhere because Mr. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast. He's next. We'll see you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at weather. And like we said earlier, it looked like winter today, but all in all, it didn't turn out too bad. It looks like better things on the horizon. Here's our photograph for tonight. This was sent in by Russell Snyder. We'll call this Tananoff Valley from above, taken from his airplane. As you can see, a nice panoramic view of the entire Tananoff Valley there. If you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. What's going on as far as the numbers? Well, the normal high is right around... well, actually, our high today was 28, and the record high was in 1997. Got up to 69 degrees that day. 0 for the overnight low in 1948. Sunrise 5:35. Sunset 10:06, which works out to 16 hours, 31 minutes of daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Here's our satellite picture. You can see more moisture coming in from the north. We were talking about that high pressure sitting up over the Bering Sea and the flow coming right on down across the Fairbanks area. We saw it earlier on the radar picture. We're looking at more moisture, another band of moisture coming in tomorrow, but no real heavy activity expected. What's going on across the rest of the state? More rain falling across southeast Alaska. Cloudy skies around the Anchorage Bowl. Also cloudy skies over the southwest part of the state. And more sunshine as we move further to the north. Barrow at 12 degrees and Fort Yukon 28. Lower 48 weather tonight. Well, things are getting wet again over the Pacific Northwest. Some rain falling there. Pretty good across the Central Plains. We're looking at, a pretty good storm developing there. Thunderstorms over the deep south, and the satellite radar showed more energy moving across the Texas and Oklahoma area. This is expected to explode into very powerful thunderstorm activity. As you can see tomorrow, looks like that severe weather will continue to march slowly to the east, spreading a good area of rain showers and thunderstorms. And the jet stream, once again, as we said before, it's moving from the west to the east, but moving further to the north, which allows for more warmer and humid temperatures to continue across the much of the southern half of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Cloudy skies with snow at Barrow and Fort Yukon. Cloudy skies for Nome. Over the interior, we'll be looking at snow showers early, then cloudy skies at Fairbanks and Healy. And over southeast Alaska, the rain will continue, some of it heavy around the Juneau area. Occasional rain expected for Ketchikan. To the southwest, it's not too bad. A few clouds for Bethel. Lots of sunshine at Coal Bay and Kodiak Island. And over the south central regions in the Anchorage Bowl, mostly cloudy skies at Anchorage, partly cloudy in Homer, and also partly cloudy at Valdez. Well, once again, time for our kids' weather as we wrap up the week. This week we've been giving you weather facts because next week we're going to resume once again with the kids. And tonight's weather fact was in the year 1991, an F5 tornado, the worst tornado you can have, 300-mile-an-hour winds, hit near Wichita, Kansas, and roared on for 56 miles. causing widespread destruction and damage, and unfortunately 17 fatalities. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank. And as I said, next week we'll resume with the kids. Next week we're going to be visiting with the kids from Chinook Charter School. Okay, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 16 degrees, warming up a little bit. Scattered areas of snow, maybe an inch at the most, and that's about it. And as far as tomorrow's forecast, gets better. 34 for the high, with snow showers early, becoming cloudy the rest of the day. And then here comes the good news. I finally got some good news to pass along. As you see, temperatures rising to the low to mid 30s, and then 40 on Tuesday, 45 on Wednesday, and 50 degrees on Thursday. So finally some good news to pass along. And the overnight lows will also continue to rise near 20 degrees all the way through Tuesday through Thursday.
All right, Mike, thank you. And you know what? It's been a long week. It's Friday, so we're just going to say good night, and we'll see you back here at 11.
Good night.